Most drivers don't realize this, but one tiny oil change mistake can turn your engine into a $5,000 paperweight. You think you're saving time or money, but those little slip-ups, they're brutal. Over time, they grind your engine to dust, rack up insane repair bills, and leave you stranded on the side of the road. Today, we're diving into 20 costly oil change mistakes that ruin your engine, and trust me, some of these will blow your mind. Each one might seem harmless, but the damage piles up fast. The good news? You can dodge every single one of these disasters with a little know-how. Stick around until the end. I've got a bonus tip that's dead simple, super effective, and could save your engine from an early grave. Ready to stop screwing over your car? Let's dive in. Mistake number 1. Using the wrong oil type. You grab a jug of oil off the shelf, 5W20, 10W40, whatever's cheapest, and think, oil's oil, right? That's a big mistake. Using the wrong oil is like giving your engine the wrong medicine. Every car needs a specific type of oil. Check your manual. If the oil is too thick, it won't move through the engine properly. If it's too thin, it won't protect the parts, and your engine will wear out faster. Choosing between synthetic and regular oil is also important. Modern engines need synthetic oil because it can handle heat better and gives more protection. If you use the wrong oil, you can cause serious damage. You might end up with broken parts or a failed engine that'll cost thousands to fix. So don't guess when it comes to oil. Always check your car's manual to know what kind of oil it needs. The wrong choice could end up costing you big time both in repairs and in your wallet. Mistake number 2. Ignoring manufacturer oil specs. Think the manual's just a suggestion? Think again. Ignoring what the manufacturer says about the type of oil can cause serious damage, and it could even void your warranty. I've seen drivers put cheap generic oil into a turbocharged engine that needs high-quality oil. The result? That engine cooked itself in just a few months. The wrong oil can't handle the heat and pressure, and suddenly that $40 oil change turns into a $4,000 engine replacement. It's not just about saving a few bucks, it's about making sure your engine runs the way it was designed to. Follow the manufacturer's oil recommendations. They know what's best for your car, and sticking to it will help you avoid costly mistakes. Don't ignore the specs. They are there to protect your engine, your car, and your wallet. Mistake number 3. Not changing the oil filter. The filter's fine, I'll change it next time. Those are famous last words. That old filter? It's a ticking time bomb. It gets clogged with dirt and gunk, blocking oil flow. When the oil can't move freely, contaminants slip through and start grinding your engine like sandpaper. The result? Serious damage. A fresh oil filter is cheap, only about $10. Skipping it to save a few bucks? Not worth it. I know a mechanic who pulled a filter so packed with dirt it looked like a brick, and the engine? Completely ruined. Changing the oil filter is just as important as changing the oil itself. It's an easy, affordable step that can save you from costly repairs down the road. So don't make excuses, change it every time. Your engine will thank you. Mistake number 4. Using the wrong oil filter. Grabbing a random oil filter just because it fits is a rookie mistake. Oil filters aren't one size fits all. If you pick the wrong one, it could cause serious problems. The filter might leak, burst, or fail to trap dirt and debris, which means your engine will get contaminated oil. I've seen mismatched filters cause oil to spill all over an engine bay, leaving the driver with a huge mess and a $300 cleanup bill. Filters are designed to fit specific cars and engines. Using the wrong one can damage the oil system. So don't take shortcuts. Always check your car's make and model to get the correct filter. Stores like Napa or AutoZone can help you find the right one if you're not sure. The right filter keeps your oil clean and helps your engine run smoothly. The wrong one? It ruins everything. It's a small investment for a big payoff, saving you time, money, and a lot of headaches. Changing the filter every time you do an oil change is a no-brainer. It's cheap, quick, and will save you from costly repairs down the line. Stick with the right filter and your engine will thank you. Mistake number 5. Not pre-filling the oil filter. You screw on a dry oil filter, fire up the engine and think everything's fine, right? Wrong. Those first few seconds your engine is running dry and metal parts are scraping against each other. This can cause serious damage. Pre-filling the oil filter where the manual allows helps prime the system and cuts down on that dangerous lag. It's a simple 10-second step. Just pour a little oil into the filter and let it soak in before you install it. Skipping this tiny step might seem like a time saver, but in reality you're shaving years off your engine's lifespan. That quick fix could save your bearings from unnecessary wear and prevent costly repairs down the road. The good news is it's easy to do and only takes a few seconds. Don't let laziness or rushing cost you your engine. It's a small effort with a big payoff. A well-prepped filter means your engine starts smoothly and stays protected. It's one of those simple steps that makes a world of difference. So remember, take a minute to pre-fill the filter. It's a tiny investment in your engine's future. Mistake number 6, overfilling the oil. More oil means more protection, right? Sounds logical, but overfilling the oil is a big mistake. If you add too much oil to the crankcase, you're asking for trouble. When there's too much oil, it starts to foam up, and foam doesn't lubricate. This means parts of your engine can rub against each other with less protection, causing wear and tear. Not only that, excess oil builds up pressure, which can blow seals, cause leaks, and flood your engine bay with oil. I've seen dipsticks read 2/4 over the fill line, and it doesn't take long before the car owner ends up with oil-soaked brakes and a $500 repair bill. Stick to the recommended fill line. Greed won't pay off here. Adding extra oil doesn't give you more protection, it only leads to a mess and expensive fixes. It's easy to get it right. Just check the dipstick, top it up if needed, and stop when you reach the fill line. Anything more is just asking for trouble. Don't let overfilling cost you. Mistake number 7, underfilling the oil. Too little oil is just as bad as too much. If you don't have enough oil, your engine is running dry, which means metal parts are grinding against each other with no lubrication. Imagine that happening at 3000 RPMs. It's a disaster in the making. The heat starts to spike, parts warp, and before you know it, your engine could seize up completely. I know a guy who drove 50 miles with just a quart low on oil. His pistons ended up welding themselves together from the lack of lubrication. The result? His engine was shot, and he had to replace the whole thing. Don't make the same mistake. It's an easy fix, just check the dipstick after filling. Even being half a quart short can cause a world of problems. Keep your oil level where it needs to be, and you'll avoid expensive and painful repairs. Never guess on oil levels, make sure your engine has enough oil to stay properly lubricated. One simple check can save you from a huge headache. Don't let underfilling be the mistake that ruins your engine. Mistake number 8, not checking oil level after a change. You pour in the oil, close everything up and think you're good to go, but skipping the final check? That's a big mistake. Leaks, spills, or misjudging how much oil your car needs can leave you with too little or even too much. If you don't check, you're essentially driving blind. I've seen it happen. A loose drain plug can leak out half your oil in just an hour. The driver doesn't notice until it's too late. The engine's dead and they're stuck on the side of the road. That could have been easily avoided with a quick check. And after you've filled up the oil, run the engine for a minute, then check the dipstick. It only takes a few seconds and it could save you from a serious headache. If you're low, top it off. If you've overfilled it, fix it. Don't ignore the dipstick. It's your engine's best friend, helping you avoid disaster. Check it and you'll drive with peace of mind. Mistake number 9, not tightening the drain plug properly. A loose drain plug is a death sentence for your engine. Oil slowly leaks out, and before you know it, your engine is running on fumes. Sometimes the leak is slow, other times it's a full-on gusher, and either way, the damage is done. I know a guy who lost his entire oil sump on the highway. $2,000 in repairs later, he learned the hard way that torque matters. Always tighten the plug hand tight, then give it a quarter turn with a wrench. It's a small step that could save you a lot of money. Don't guess, do it right. Mistake number 10, not replacing the drain plug gasket. That small washer on the drain plug? It's not optional, even if it seems like a minor detail. Reusing an old crushed gasket is a huge mistake. It can cause a slow, steady drip of oil which will eat away at your engine's lubrication. This isn't just about losing oil, it's about preventing engine failure. A new gasket costs around $1, but skipping it could cost you thousands in engine repairs. I've seen engines run dry over weeks because someone decided not to replace the gasket. Always replace it with every oil change. It's a small, non-negotiable step that protects your engine. Mistake number 11, over-tightening the oil filter. You crank that oil filter on like it's a lug nut that feels tight, right? But over-tightening is a huge mistake. It crushes the filter's gasket, causing leaks, or worse, it can fuse the filter to the engine block so tightly that you'll need a chainsaw to get it off next time. I've seen it happen. A DIY went a little too hard and the filter split wide open, spraying oil everywhere. The engine? Completely ruined. Remember, it's not about cranking it down as tight as possible. Hand tight and then just a half turn with the wrench, that's all it takes. Mistake number 12, not cleaning the oil filter mounting surface. Old grime and dirt on the oil filter mounting surface? That's a leak just waiting to happen. If the mounting spot is dirty, the filter won't seal properly and oil will start oozing out. It only takes a few seconds to wipe it down with a rag, but skipping this step can cause problems down the road. I've seen a guy ignore this small detail and before long his driveway was covered in oil. Clean mounts are crucial for preventing leaks and protecting your engine. A quick wipe now can save you from expensive repairs later. Clean mounts save engines. Messy ones ruin them. Mistake number 13. Not checking for leaks after the change. You finish up, start the car, and drive off, thinking everything's fine. But if you miss that tiny puddle forming under your car, you're in trouble. A small drip can quickly turn into a major issue like a dry sump within just a few hours. After your oil change, always idle the car for a minute, then take a quick look underneath. One missed leak cost a friend his entire engine, $3,000 down the drain. Spot it early and you can fix it for next to nothing. Don't take the risk. A simple check now saves you a lot of time later. Mistake number 14. Not resetting the oil change reminder. That little dashboard light isn't just an annoying reminder, it's tracking your car's maintenance schedule. Forget to reset it and you'll be guessing when the next oil change is due. Miss it and sludge starts to build up in your engine. Over time, that sludge can clog things up, causing long-term damage. Every car is different, so take a minute to Google your model's reset trick. It's usually easy. Skipping this step may seem like no big deal, but it's one of the quiet ways engines wear out faster. Keep your car in top shape by resetting it after each change. Mistake number 15. Not wearing safety gear. Oil changes aren't a relaxing spa day. They're messy and hot oil can burn you badly. If you skip the safety gear, you're asking for trouble. No gloves? No glasses? You're taking a big risk. I've seen someone splash 200-degree oil on his hand. It took 2 weeks of bandages to heal. Oil changes can be dangerous, but wearing the right gear protects you from burns and flying gunk. It's not about being macho, it's about being smart. A pair of gloves and safety glasses might feel like an extra step, but they can save you a lot of pain. Gear up every time. Mistake number 16. Changing oil on a hot engine. Fresh off a drive, you pop the oil drain plug. Congratulations, you've just scalded yourself with boiling oil. A hot engine can be dangerous when doing an oil change. The oil will be extremely hot and can cause serious burns if you're not careful. Let your engine cool down for at least 20 minutes before you get started. I know someone who was too impatient to wait and ended up with a nasty burn on his arm. Worse, he spilled half the oil everywhere. Patience is key here. It saves your skin and protects your engine from unnecessary damage. Don't rush it. Mistake number 17. Using a shallow or unstable drain pan. A cheap, flimsy drain pan is a disaster waiting to happen. If it tips over, your garage will turn into an oil slick and cleaning up will take forever. Shallow pans are another problem. When you drain the oil from a V8, they can overflow and make a huge mess. Spending $15 on a deep, sturdy pan is well worth it. I've seen someone use a cheap pan and end up dumping 5 quarts of oil all over their driveway. Hours of cleanup, angry neighbors, and a damaged driveway, all for trying to save a few bucks. Don't skimp on your drain pan. Get a solid one that can handle the job. Mistake number 18. Not checking oil between changes. Changing the oil and forgetting about it? That's a huge mistake. Even if you change your oil regularly, things like leaks, burning oil, or heavy driving can cause the oil level to drop between changes. If you ignore the dipstick and don't check, you're putting your engine at risk. It only takes 2 minutes to check the oil level each month. One guy I know skipped checking, his oil ran dry and his engine ended up in the scrapyard. Keep an eye on your oil levels. It's a simple habit that can prevent disaster. Mistake number 19. Ignoring the recommended oil change interval. 7,000 miles is close enough to 5,000, you might think, But stretching that interval can lead to big problems. If you wait too long, the oil turns into sludge, clogging your engine and causing it to grind itself to death. Always follow the manual's recommendation for oil changes, whether it's 5,000 miles, 7,000 miles, or whatever your car needs. I've seen oil so overdue that it looks like tar, leading to a $1,500 repair bill. Timing is everything. Stick to the schedule and avoid expensive engine problems down the road. Mistake number 20. Skipping oil changes altogether. The biggest mistake of all? Skipping oil changes entirely. If you do this, your engine is as good as dead. Over time, oil breaks down and turns into sludge, leading to worn-out parts and an engine that can't keep up. I once heard someone brag they went 20,000 miles without an oil change. Well, their engine didn't brag. It died. Regular oil changes are cheap insurance for your car. Skip them and you'll soon find yourself shelling out thousands for a new engine. Don't make this mistake. Your engine relies on that oil change to stay running smoothly. Bonus tip: the oil hack most miss. Here's a simple gem that many people overlook. Warm up your engine for 2 minutes before draining the oil. Cold oil is thick and slow, making it harder to drain and leaving more sludge behind. Warming it up thins the oil out, so more of that dirty sludge flows freely, giving you a cleaner change. It's not rocket science, just idle the car briefly before you drain. Doing this results in cleaner oil changes, which means your engine runs smoother and lasts longer. Pair this easy trick with avoiding the 20 mistakes we've covered, and your car will be in great shape for years to come. It's a small habit that leads to big rewards. There you have it, 20 engine-killing oil change mistakes busted wide open. These aren't small slip-ups, they can drain your wallet and ruin your engine. Avoid them and you'll save thousands, keeping your car running smoothly and never see that tow truck. Want more car-saving tips? Watch my next video on best 13 cars that are most reliable and never break down. Stay tuned and start saving.